Oh, hello and welcome to an episode of From the Depths with me, Table. Now, I've been playing this game quite a bit, and it's kind of getting its hooks into me, as far as a game that I enjoy. Now, one of the first things I've looked at, and a lot of you will look at when you first start playing this game, is fuel engines, right? Now, I noticed on Discord, chatting with people, that a lot of people just ignore fuel engines and just go for, like, electrics. It's a lot simpler to make them. What we're going to do is we're going to go through fuel engine to the extent that I understand them, and we're going to make an engine, right? That's what we're going to do. So we just hit B for build mode. It's currently floating in the water, because it's wood, and it shows you that this is buoyant. Now for mirror mode, you just look at the end. Wow, I've got like a gravelly voice. Gravelly voice. Let's go here. There we go. So the mirror line is going down the length of the vehicle. And you can see that the block has this arrow coming out of it, and it shows you the direction, which is forward. So let's just go ahead and do that. It's very, very simple. Let's just go ahead maybe and extend this a little bit to get some sort of buoyancy. It's basically a flat plank just to serve the purposes of mounting our engine on. So let's just go ahead and do that. You know what? Let's just push that to 2, and let's get a little bit creative with this, just ever so slightly. We're just going to put those on like that, and then we're going to go down here, and we're going to do the same there. Sometimes I get this right, but sometimes I mess around trying to get those angled blocks in the right position. So we've got a block, right? It's a wedge-shaped block, but that's not our first priority, is it? The thing we're going to do is engine. Now, there's an engine guide that you can look through, but I'll be honest, that thing confused the hell out of me first time around, so watch me instead. So we've got to get it so that the engine is facing forward, like that. You can see the little green nubbin sticking out of it. That's your connecting point. This will be the back bit, right? So let's do that, and then we're going to go to crankshafts. Crankshafts. Why does it amuse me so much? Crankshaft. Whoop. And you can see that it's got multiple connections, top, bottom, sides. Sorry, my voice is really gravelly. Gravelly, husky, gravelly. Let's keep doing that. Now, the amount of crankshafts indicate power, right? If we go to crankshaft, it says the crankshaft is what connects the cylinders to the generator. Place the crankshaft in line with extending the generator. Okay, so it's just a connection point. Fine. The longer your crankshaft, the more things you can fit on it. What the hell's an adapter? Adapter allows the placement of cylinders away from the crankshaft. Ooh. Well, that is an interesting addition. Does it now? Okay. I don't see the connection points on that, but alright, fair enough. But we're not going to worry about that for now. So, cylinders. What we're going to do is we're going to whack a couple on right there on the sides, right? So you got a couple of cylinders on. Then what we're going to add on the end, we're going to add injectors. Injectors, fuel injection is a modern alternative to carburetors. And forced induction, it can be placed on any side of the cylinder. Fine. But let's just rotate it round like so. Like so. That's the wrong way round. Whoop, there we go. Now it's connected. Yep, that's connected. There we go. So we've got our injectors on. Cool. Looks very fancy, I know. What we're going to then do is we're going to add a couple of, where are we? Carburetors. Now, carburetors. The carburetor supplies air and fuel to the cylinder, as well as allowing supercharged and turbocharged attachments, okay? Which is what we want. So we're going to put it on this way round, like that, okay? There we go, carburetors. Excuse me. Whilst we're at it, I might as well put one on the top here as well and show you what we're going to do with that. So let's go over here and just whack one on, say there. And let's do the same, but this time we have the carburetor on the top like that, okay? No injector on this one, just a carburetor. I mean, I guess we could potentially fit an injector on there. Yeah, it's connected. Okay, so we can put an injector on like that. So this is 2 different angles that you can go with the components, right? So we've got injectors, cylinders, carburetors. Same there, just at a different angle. Now we've got to put on the turbocharger. Oh, superchargers. Superchargers first. Okay, so superchargers, they just go on top of your carburetor, and you can see there's an air intake, so that faces forward, right? And then on these bottom ones, according to the game, they have to face upwards, like that. You see that? So the intake is facing up, and on this one, the intake is facing forward, and they stick onto your carburetors, okay? Very important to understand that one. Yeah. Because that's what they say. I don't know if it works the other way around. Let's just test that, actually, while we're here. Let's just go like so. Whoop. There. Oh, no, hang on. There we go. So it's facing the other way. It says it's still connected. So that's probably a cosmetic thing then. So it doesn't really seem to matter which way it's facing. Because that's not bringing air in. Air's not coming down from above when you're going forward, is it? It doesn't make sense. Okay. Continue onwards. So turbochargers, injectors we've got, radiators. They just attach to... Well, I think they can just attach to anything, really. Yeah, it's just connected. They do stack radiators. So you could do this, right? And you could have one there, and it's connected. Like, they can connect to each other. But what you can do is you can get radiators in different sizes. But I digress. We're not going to do that yet. Turbochargers, these are the things that confuse me, right? I didn't know how they worked. And I kind of wanted to figure out how they worked, so I kind of sat down with them and gave them a little bit of a once over. So we want to rotate it like that. Okay, that's the angle that you want, okay? Let's just double check that. Yeah, okay, that's the angle that you want. So they attach to this point here on the carburetor and then on the cylinder itself. So where you have a cylinder and a carburetor together, you can do that and you can attach the turbocharger, right? General rule of thumb is white end of turbocharger connects to the cylinder, okay? So turbocharger white end, cylinder connects. The other end, the black end, connects to the cylinder, okay? Carburetor white, cylinder black. That's the rule for turbochargers. And you'll see here that you've got a little green build nugget, and that's for an exhaust pipe. So you will have to factor in exhausts. They just help disperse heat. Now, what I didn't think was about this side one, because we've got this injector, but I'm thinking if I put the injector there instead, right, which is still connected, then surely if I just reposition this, I can put my supercharger on there. Ah, but it's the wrong way round, isn't it? It says, look, not connected to the carburetor. It's white end on carburetor, not black end. So we rotate it like that, and we can go around to the other side. And that's now connected. Ah, another turbocharger. Now, our exhaust, unfortunately, though, points down. You can see there's our connection point for our exhaust. So you're going to have to get a little creative with the exhaust piping. But I tell you this right now, I'm pretty new to the exhaust thing, and I friggin' love the exhaust. Let's press caps. If you press caps on your build, it hovers it out of the water. The exhaust systems that you can have are absolutely amazing, right? Absolutely amazing. So we've got our engine, we've got everything but our exhausts. We could probably use a radiator, right? So let's have a look. Radiators that help keep the engine operating at lower temperatures. It costs a bit of efficiency to run. Okay, then let's just have a large radiator, and let's just whack that right on there because it looks amazing. Frankly, that's the only reason I want to put that on. There we go. Dirty great radiator on it. Why not? In fact, let's have a couple of small radiators just sitting on here like that. I think that looks pretty cool. So there's our engine, right? We need fuel. All engines need fuel, and to do that you go to resources, and then you go to fuel storage, and you go to fuel tank. Whoop, and then you just rotate that round. Now, with fuel tanks, right? If I put these fuel tanks down, and I want to build a block off of that, it won't let you. Oh, because it's connecting to that. Okay. They get a bit weird. They get a bit buggy when attaching blocks to it. I know I didn't show it there, so it looks like I'm just full of rubbish, but it's the case. Believe me. Now, I put those fuel tanks on, but my exhaust pipe needs somewhere to go. So we've got this black bit there to connect to that black bit there, and then we just need a pipe that goes out. So here we go. Oh, this is so good. The exhaust pipes are so good. Right, control. No, not control. Fuel engines, exhausts. You get all these sections, and we're going to go corner pipe, and we're going to rotate this, attach it like that. And I think we're just going to do the same and rotate it that way. So it comes out like that. And then let's put on a length of straight pipe, and let's put on a 4 meter length. There we go. So let's just attach that there. Cool. Now we're going to need a T-junction, which is junction pipe, and we're going to attach that like so. Okay? So we've got a junction, and then we're going to add a corner to there. I like it with the exhaust because it feels like Mad Max boats. That's what I'll be honest with you. If you ever want to duplicate a part and just add it to your inventory, just press R, and it just appears in your hand, so to speak. There we go. We can add that. Let's go ahead and add another curve out like that. Whoop. Hello. When you're ready, there we go. And then you can put on an exhaust end. So where are we? Exhaust. There we go. So you just whack that on like so. And that's the end of your exhaust, right? Because it makes your engine more fuel efficient if it can take the exhaust away from the engine. Now, we've only done half of it. We haven't completed this other segment here, which comes out below here. Now, it's not the best position for an exhaust, but you know, you can encapsulate it and you can like fit it all in, and it's not the end of the world basically. I'd rather have a turbocharger on there and my exhaust go a little bit random direction than not have one, you know? So all we have to do is go up and then go here. There we go. And then let's attach that and see what we need to bridge that gap between the two of them. Hello. It gets a little bit fiddly. There we go. And whoop, 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 whoop. Nice. So 2 singles and in the corner. There we go. Let's just add that on. There we go. That one there. That one there. And in a corner. And that hooks up our exhaust. That's now connected. Both turbochargers are hooked up to the exhaust. And the exhaust pipes come out the back and look really fancy. So, it says down there that my engine is 900. 900, I don't know, efficiency, I guess? I want to just see if I can influence that by adding a couple more carburetors or something. And see if I can't... Not carburetors, cylinders. I just want to see if I can alter that number. 920. Ah, okay. So if I put a carburetor on that, does that change the number again? Let's have a look. That one. Ah, 1100. Okay, so... Can carburetors stack? 1300. Ah, okay. So I've built a very basic engine. That's switched it up to 1500. Well, isn't that interesting, huh? That's like, that must be the power of the engine, right? So carburetors stack. So there's a lot of leeway here for what you want to do with these things. So what was it? Cylinder, carburetor. So yeah, let's remove those ones, right? And add that. And then go turbochargers, right? And then rotate that round. You can kind of tell by the shape. The bottom connection point is the one you want, right? See the connection point? That's your exhaust out. So there we go. Right way round. We have to update the exhaust, but we're now at 1500. So it seems that carburetors and cylinders increase the power, it would seem. Now what I can do is if I go to this, right, and get rid of that pipe, and then add a T-junction, which is there. If I just add that sucker in there, right, like so, we can hook up that extra turbocharger. This is going past the basic engine now. It looks like we're getting a little bit... We're just making it up a little bit as we go along. But, I mean, like, you can't ignore the numbers. From 900 to 1500, that's a lot more power, isn't it, really? Let's whack... You know what? Why do a single when I could put a double in, is what I'm thinking. Let's just whack a double on there. Come on. Come on. That's the... Come on. Oh, that's really fiddly. Okay, there we go. Then we have a cheeky quarter pipe. There we go. Don't mind if I does. Now, what I think... Right, that's now hooked up. We've got our exhausts on. I'm just going to add a few more fuel tanks in there. You shouldn't really stack your fuel tanks in amongst everything like that, but frankly, I say we're not going to take any fire with this engine, so I'm going to even stick on some radiators there. There we go. Okay, a couple of radiators there. So there's our engine, right? Now what we get to play around with, which I'm looking forward to, is our boat itself. We can just, like, quickly just whack together a basic hull, and we can ramp some propellers on it, and then we can see how much speed we get out of it. Now, this might not be a super effective test of the boat, as the boat itself, the hull of the boat, will dictate a few things. But let's just whack that on like that, right? Let's just do that. It's a little bit... It's not exactly a wide boat, is it? It's like a little... Hopefully a little speedboat. There we go. And I like putting massive propellers on little boats as well. Like the most advanced thing I've been able to make has got a lot of power for a very small vehicle. But it's pretty good. It can kind of fly and swim underwater. It's pretty exciting, to be honest. All right, let's just whack those on like that. When you're ready. Hello. Oh, getting this right. Sometimes I just lose it with this rotating thing. There we go. Okay, we got that on. We're going to put on a... I wasn't even going to make this... wasn't even going to drive this for the vid, but I kind of feel like we've made the engine. We should give it a spin. There we go. Let's put on our rudder. Let's just get rid of that middle one. But then... Oh, Pokemon. Deep. Just rotate that. There we go. And we're going to go to propellers. Little propellers. Like that. There we go. 2 little propellers there. We want to be able to turn left and right, so let's just whack on a couple of propellers there. Why not? It's about as far forward as we can go with this design. It might just tip over. I'm going to be honest. It's very, very narrow. So let's just Let's just push that out a little bit, you know? Maybe like that. Just push that out. You know what? I'm getting... See, this is the game. This is how it gets you. You do a little bit and you're like, oh, just a little bit more. I'll just do a little bit of tinkering there. Just a little bit there and a little bit there. And before you know it, you've spent several hours doing it. There we go. Let's put that in. And then I want to put a curve here. What have we got? Let's put in this block here. That's a bit far back, to be honest. Let's do 2, 2, 2. And use the slopes and just do that. Now, it is a flat-bottomed boat. Now, I would like take the time to make a hole, but we might not need it, to be honest. Let's just do that and then do that, because that looks pretty friggin' wizard, doesn't it? Okay, we've got front boosty things. That's not a point. Let's just go R and then rotate that one. Ah, but it blocks the propeller. Okay, fine. But we can do better than that. We can go beam 2 meter. No, not beam. Slope. And then beam. Getting pretty nippy on the old builds now. Beam 2 meter. There we go. No, that one. There we go. Haha! Success! You're a weird looking boat. There's no denying that fact. Let's take off mirror mode. Just tap in enough times it will disappear. Caps lock off. Oh, we need to add a steering wheel. We need to add that. Does it float? Not really. It's a lot of engine, admittedly. Once we're moving, we're not gonna have to worry about it. Here we go. Let's put the chair on. Whoop. Vehicle controller. That one's fine. Don't need a ship's wheel. I like the vehicle controller more because you can switch between air and... Oh, it says drag at the back. Okay, fine. So, wheels on, steering's on. All I got to do now is teleport into my seat. Whoop. Can I warp in, please? You gonna let me? Oh, I got to turn off build mode. Whoop. Warp. And we're in. Book. Tab and tab. So we can go outside and witness. And we press T. Vroom. And we're off. Okay, so you can see that it's way too much power for such a tiny boat. Because I've immediately done a flippy flips. So what we can do is we could fix that a little bit. I've gone to build mode, put on my mirror mode. This is what I love, right? You can work on things in real time. So what I can do is I can lose one of these propellers and halve my power, right? And then I can add some weight onto the bottom of this. So let's go to lead block and lead beam, right? And let's put the weight on the bottom of the boat. But first, we need to just find the center row and add some wood as well, because we're going to make a keel. Now that little bit sticking out no longer has a propeller on, so I can rotate that round. We can add beams. So we're going to add beams, 1, 2, and then let's go take that one off maybe. No, let's leave that one on. And then we go down again, and we just add a keel. This isn't how I go about building a hull, but this isn't I'm building a hull video. This is I'm showing you my engine. But if the engine just tips the boat over, then you know it's too much jelly for your boat. There we go. 1, whoop, whoop, 2, 3. Is that enough to turn you over? No, it looks like it wants to tip over. Let's just do the caps thing. There we go. Plonk it down again. Let's see if it sticks in the water now. It does. Let's just ramp up the speed on the engine. One propeller is rather low. Why does my engine say 1495 rather than 1500? Is that fuel? No, it's not fuel. The other one above is fuel. Fuel efficiency, maybe? So, my speed is 310. I'm surprised at that, actually. I think that is just the propeller, though. I think the propeller will dictate that one. Let's add the second propeller back, now that we've got some weight underneath. 440. We're ticking along nicely. The whole of this boat is so tacky. Now we can turn left and right. Breep, breep. Thanks to those propellers. There we go. Turn left and right. I mean, that's a working little chug. You've got 440, but I mean, if you want to change that out and you just want to add a dirty, great, massive propeller, just do it and see what happens. Prom. Yeah, you'll get the speed, but that's because my boat's so light. Oh, there's definitely some power there in that engine. Let's just take that off now and let that get back to what it wanted to do. There we go. Sorted. Yeah, man. There's our little putt. Big. I like petrol engines. I really do. Well, petrol, gas, fuel engines. I do love them. Little putt. But that will power a bigger propeller, clearly, because you saw that propeller was blowing this thing out of the water. They're not too complicated, are they? They're not too complicated when you think about it. You know, they're all right. That 1500 number is ticking down. It's now 1490. I'm curious about that number. This is supposed to be an Engines Explained video, and I don't know what that number means. If someone wants to tell me, we can all learn together. Cool. Right, okay, I'm in table. Thanks so much for watching. That's Engines. And I'll see you again soon for another video. If you want to talk to me about these fuel engines, and you've got some ideas, and, you know, maybe my exhaust piping is a bit sloppy, but it was kind of half show, half slop. No, not slop. Half function, half form. You know, because I wanted it to look kind of cool. Let me know. Let's get a conversation going. In the meantime, I've been Table. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you again soon for another video. Let's just take off that mirror mode and we can look at the lovely boat. Build mode off. There we go. Lovely boat. I'll see you again soon, guys. Take care of yourselves and don't forget...